For 6 months, the same golden retriever waited outside this airport every single day. He wasn't lost, and he wasn't looking for food. He was waiting for someone who had promised to come back. Every time the arrival doors opened, he stood up with hope. He searched every face, then quietly sat down again. The airport staff couldn't understand why he never gave up. One kind flight attendant brought him food and water every day. The dog thanked her with a gentle wag of his tail, but his eyes never left the terminal doors. That's when everyone realized he wasn't waiting for a meal. He was waiting for his best friend. That evening, the airport manager decided to check the security footage from 6 months earlier, and what they found left the entire staff speechless. The security video showed the dog walking beside his owner. They stopped at the departure gate, hugged each other tightly, and neither of them wanted to say goodbye. With tears in his eyes, the owner kissed the dog's head and handed the leash to a family friend. A few seconds later, he disappeared through the security gate forever. Moments later, the dog slipped out of his collar and ran back to the airport. He sat quietly outside the arrival terminal, believing his best friend would come home. Now the airport staff knew why he stayed, but one question still remained. Would his owner ever return? Days turned into weeks, but the dog never left. Every morning he walked to the same spot and waited for the first flight to arrive. A kind flight attendant named Emma brought him food every day. He ate just enough to survive, then turned back to the terminal door. 6 months later, one international flight finally landed. The dog suddenly stood up, his ears lifted, and for the first time in months, his tail began to wag. Then he saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was him. After 6 long months, the owner had finally returned. The dog froze for a second, as if he couldn't believe his own eye. Then the dog started running, faster than anyone had ever seen. The owner dropped his suitcase and ran too. When they finally hugged, the entire terminal fell silent. Even strangers couldn't hold back their tears. Holding back his tears, the owner whispered, "I'm so sorry. I promised I'd come back. And you believed me every single day." The flight attendant smiled and said, "He never missed a single day." The owner closed his eyes, knowing his best friend had waited longer than anyone ever should. That day, they finally walked out of the airport together. Some people wait because they have hope, but a loyal dog waits because love never gives up.